Good evening, everyone. Blood Malachite's back with something a little different. We're not going to analyze episodes of Star vs. or other cartoons, and I'm not broadcasting PS4 gameplay. I'm actually here just to show off something rather interesting. One moment here. I don't even know if it's going to fit on the camera, it's so large. This right here just arrived from Kickstarter this morning, and I haven't even thought about opening it until just a moment ago. So, I'm actually going to attempt to do so right now, live on camera, because it's so much fun to watch me do this stuff. But mainly I just want to show what is inside of it for anyone who may be interested. This is Ghostbusters II, the board game. This was a Kickstarter project from Cryptozoic Entertainment. It is a sequel to the original Ghostbusters, the board game that came out in, I believe it was 2015, I want to say it came out. I think it came out around October of that year. So, there we go. So we're making progress. There we go. As you can probably tell, I did back this project at a rather high level. So, there's going to be a lot of goodies in here. Okay, there we go. It's open. Hopefully. Maybe. Alright, so this opens up with a piece of paper on top of it. I'm not exactly sure what that's about, but let's see. It's hard to see inside the box. I'm going to try to tilt it towards the camera here for you. And the light's kind of blocking it. But as you can see, there's the board game, is this big thing in white right here. And then above it is an expansion. And all those other things in there, those are not just bracers for the packing. Those are all expansions and stuff. So I'm going to actually take this out so you can actually see it. So this would be the deluxe edition of the board game itself. And these are all the different things that come included in it. Pretty much everything you see here is in this actual box that I'm holding. So there's a ton of stuff on here. These are all the different figures for the monsters you'll fight. Let's see, and also the characters you'll get to play as. So we have Slime Blower Louis Tully, Proton Pack Louis Tully, 5 Titanic Ghosts, the Theater Ghost. We have a Gigaplasm, which is 100 millimeters tall. Washington Square Ghost, the Statue of Liberty, of course, from the infamous sequence in the second film. That's also 100 millimeters tall. 3 Jail Jaws, 4 Sore Throats, 5 Brain Matters, 5 Street Creepers, 4 Snakeheads, Tony Scoleri and Nunzio Scoleri from the courthouse scene. Of course, Janos, the Blackie, the main villain in the film. 3 Grand Plasms, another Megaplasm. These kind of work for the Gigaplasm there. And then we have some more heroes down here. So we have Proton Pack Peter and Slime Blower Peter. Proton Pack and Slime Blower for Ray. Same for Egon and for Winston. So 2 of each kind, depending on what weapon they're slinging. Of course, you have Vigo the Carpathian. We also have 3 Granny Gross, 3 Mail Fraud, and 3 Ex-Cops, more enemies. And the Ecto 1A figure. So overall, there's 69 minifigures, 34 snap-on bases for the figures, 16 double-sided game board tiles, as the game is different every time, 6 regular dice, 6 glow-in-the-dark dice, 90 tokens for keeping track of different things, player entity and scenario cards, which you actually use for the gameplay, and the Ghostbusters Operations and Fields manual, which just gives you background, as well as the actual rules for playing the game. So that is what you actually get in the core package. So I don't know if this deluxe version will actually be in stores. It may just be the vanilla version, which is pretty much the same, except the packaging is nice, and you won't get as many of these figures on here. You won't get as many as of the monsters, and I'm not sure if you'll get as many of the hero figures or not. This is the actual only expansion that seems to come in the nice packaging, the Slimer Sea Freight expansion. So it's not standalone. As you can see here, it is something that you actually would have to buy for it. This contains a whole scenario for playing as Slimer. So you have Proton Pack Slimer and Slime Blower Slimer. And then he has the enemies, the First Mate, Skeleton Crew, Captain Jack Higgins. And he's got 4 double-sided map tiles. So it's very much what you get in the main game, but this is its own separate little expansion set. Let's try that again, shall we? Okay. The rest of these, unfortunately, are not really marked. So there's really no way of knowing what is in them except to actually open them up and take a look. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, these are a bunch of different figures. Let me just start putting stuff out. Here are cards for the actual gameplay. These are the actual sleeves for the cards, I should say, that you can put them in to protect them. These I honestly am having trouble deducing exactly what they are. They look like... Oh, these are traps. Traps are new to the game. The traps were just, they were part of the original game, but they were kind of invisible. And now they're they're a bigger mechanic in the game. It was just, ghosts automatically became trapped when you defeated them, and now I believe those rules have been expanded. So here, these are actual traps. And this is just more traps, so nothing to worry about there. This is an additional set of those sleeves. So these are all sleeves for protecting the cards that you play with, and they work just fine with the original game as well. I didn't show off the artwork on some of these here. Artwork is done by the teams that do the comics, the official Ghostbusters comics that are ongoing. And this is the actual, this is for Vigo. Specifically, not for the actual figure of Vigo, this is the actual painting, which... somewhere in the box of the main thing, there's the figure comes with it too. Okay, so you will actually be able to slide the painting into this, and then here's the actual figure for him for his form. So that's kind of cool. These are all little extra things that we got as backers for the most part. Most of these things are not going to be available on the street, as it were. Okay. So putting those away, now we still have 3 significantly larger boxes. And I couldn't tell you what comes in them. Like, honestly, it's been so long since I kickstarted this. The amount of stuff that I get with it is just kind of mind-boggling, because I got just about everything there was to get. There's very little that I passed up on. I'm going to need that. Okay. Should only have to do this on one side, I believe. There we go. So let's see what we got here. These are more figures. These are, if I'm not mistaken, these are like extras of the figures that come in the main game. Some of them may be extras, some of them may be unique to this, but I'll show off a few of these. Tobin's Secrets and Sex. This is where this will host a lot of information for the game itself. And as far as some of the figures, I'm not going to try to figure out what each and every one of these is if it's not totally obvious. I don't want this video to go on for 45 minutes. So that was what happened to be at the bottom of that one here. This, I believe, is one of the hero. I believe this is the hero from the Extreme Ghostbusters, the one that was actually in the wheelchair. And this is definitely another Ghostbuster. This might be one of the Extreme ones. I'm not sure. There's so many. They incorporated characters from real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters, the Rookie. There's so many different characters that are involved. And of course, these are the gray ones, so these are the ones that are meant that you actually can paint on your own without having to deal with just the simple, without a simple paint job like these. So you can either paint them yourself or do a professional paint job on them if someone wants to. These are some of the other villains. These are some of the larger villains. These would be like mini boss and boss characters that you fight in the board game. There's quite a few of these, and these are all different. If things are different, I don't mind showing them off. And lastly, we have this one here that looks almost like some kind of Slimer gone wrong, except he's got legs. Okay, so that was what was in this particular one here. Oh, and we have some intel. Oh, this might be one of the expansions. This might be the Lewis Tully expansion. Noticing that there's definitely ooze all over the place. These all perfect. These are on a sheet, but these all actually come out. Each of these is 4 separate ones. And then there's this side as well. The yellow marks indicate actual walls that the characters can't go through. However, ghosts can. So the board, this is basically how you make the game. The actual main box of the game has like a ton of these in them, and these are all, some of these are specialized for different scenarios, but you basically can mix and match. You can put them together how you like, you can turn them at different angles, you can flip them over, so it truly is never the same game twice. I mean, unless you are someone who just plays this game hundreds and hundreds of times, you're really not going to get all the combinations. And just flipping a handful of tiles around can really change the whole strategy for a scenario, which is one of the things that gives the game so much replayability, is by using basically the same materials and even the same characters, you can end up with very different strategies and very different game types each time. It's a lot of fun. I wish I had more people to play it with, because it's not often I get to play this game. But I do thoroughly enjoy it. I like the first one, that's why I took the time to back the sequel, the expansion. Okay, actually there's a sequel. This is very light. This might be I think this might be that collapsible dice tower. Let's see. Nope, it's actually figures. I'm totally wrong on that. Okay. So these are the figures that can actually be painted. Everything in here you see is gray, like this one. And this is actually, that's cool that he's the same on both sides. These I'm not going to show every single one because there's just so many. And again, you know, if this isn't something that interests, I mean, you got to be either a pretty big Ghostbusters fan and a board game fan to get a lot out of this. So I'm not going to do a lot. Of course, here's the Boogeyman. Got to show off the Boogeyman. Let's see here. And I'm not sure whether this is Zool or Vince Clortho. It's obviously one of the two. The other one is here and is a different figure, so I will show that off. So whichever one you want to decide they are. A lot of great ghosts that they pulled from the comics and from the real Ghostbusters animated series. There's a lot of cool detail on these too. And even on, I know I'm not flipping around some of these. Let's see, now we did the Boogeyman. They aren't labeled, so you know, I'm not as big a fanboy. I can't tell you who every single character is just by looking at them. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that can do that. I believe this is Sam Hain, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering my Ghostbusters lore correctly. Okay. Only one more of these to open. I originally informed you I'm not going to open the main box to the main game. And the reason for that right now is just because it's going to make it much harder to transport once I open that, and I don't want to get into that. So that is the reason why. But if you like this video and you want to see more of it, I will happily do that at a later time when I have the game in its more permanent home. I will happily do a second video opening up the main game itself. And let's see, how does this one open? Is this it? This is it. Okay. So for our last piece, we have some nice styrofoam packing, and here we go. Okay. That's heavy. Here, I believe, is that collapsible dice tower that I was mentioning earlier. And this is extra stuff for the game. So right here, these are extra tiles, extra player cards and stuff. Oh, this is looks like this is the People Busters expansion. Let me just flip this over. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it too well. Okay, I'm going to try to hold this up and hope he shines through. But you can kind of see on that yellowish, is it the yellowish card? No, it's on this greenish thing right here. That is People Buster Egon. They're next to the white sticker there. So there is a People Busters expansion, and I believe this is all the material for that, including some figures and stuff. So that's cool. They really went all out for this edition of the game. They put so much into it. This looks like a giant Jello mold. I believe this is actually meant for. Ally gameplay. Let's see. I don't really want to. Computer LSF. This is this looks like it could be Ecto. This looks like some different gelatin stuff, but I believe Ecto 2 is also in here if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, get the rest of this junk out. This should be that aforementioned tower. Yes, okay. So this actually is your dice tower, which when you put it all together, as you can see, more or less will become the firehouse. It's totally collapsible. I don't want to put it all together right now because it's going to be a pain to take apart. But so you'll be able to actually put the dice into the top of it and have them tumble down to the bottom for you to randomize your encounters if you want to use it. I probably won't. I more got this as a little neato collector's thing rather than something I would use. I like the idea behind it. The problem is that it's being collapsible. It's just you're kind of already determined that it's going to fall apart at some point in time if you actually use it. So because of that, I would recommend against it, and I'm actually having trouble disassembling it without finding it right now. There we go. Okay. So it is a neat thing if you don't mind that sort of thing. Me, I'm kind of fastidious. I like to keep everything in really nice shapes. So this is something that, while I do love the idea behind it, I probably won't actually end up utilizing it, and I'll put that away probably later. Okay, so I believe that does cover. No, this is just it. So that covers everything that came in terms of the Kickstarter rewards and stuff like that. The only thing I didn't get into was the core game itself back here. So this game should be available soon. It goes out to the Kickstarter backers first, and then it will be available for storage shelves. So this, the original was called the Mass Hysteria version. This one, I believe, this is unique to Kickstarter, this extra version of it, but there will be a standard version of it you'll be able to get at your typical hobby shop, the kind of place where you get your complex board games, some finer comic book stores, game stores, the kind of stores that sell your typical tabletop RPG and other things like that. Warhammer. I don't know if a place like Games Workshop or not will actually have it, but again, definitely let your local stores know that this is something you want if it's something that you're into. And if this is a video that the people really want to see more of, and they want to see me go more depth into this stuff, I'll happily open it up and do that at a later time. But I just wanted to give people an idea since it's actually coming out, and this is what you'll be hearing about on the board gaming circuit as it approaches release. In terms of the future, very soon, possibly even tonight, I'm going to be streaming some more Shantae. And as far as Star Versus, I'm not going to go back and individually review every episode because there's just too many left to do that with. And I think everybody can agree, or at least just about everybody, that the series got much, much better. So what I am going to do is I'm going to do kind of a Season 2 recap video glossing over most of the stuff that I didn't do individual reviews of for Season 2. And I'm aiming to put that out the week before the Season 3 quote-unquote movie comes out, with the first 4 episodes on Saturday, July 15th. So I'm looking forward to doing that video, and then probably just a day or two after the movie, I'll have up a video analyzing the movie itself. So those are the kind of things that I'm looking to put up in the near future in terms of this kind of content. And I know a lot of people have been enjoying my PlayStation 4 broadcasts, and that's always cool. So I will keep doing those. Keep doing Shantae F Genie Hero, and if that will be far from the only game I stream. I've got so many games in my backlog, and I'll definitely get on streaming that more. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a subscriber if you are a subscriber. If you like this, feel free to subscribe. If not, hey, it's whisking off my back. I do this just for my own fun. I'm not doing it as a way to, feed my family or anything like that. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good night.